Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Everyday English Practice Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. We're really happy you're here with us today. This podcast is for people who want to speak English naturally, without fear and without stress.
Yes, English that you can actually use in real life, not the kind of English that only lives inside grammar books.
Before we start, just one small thing. If you enjoy learning English with us, please like this episode and subscribe to the Everyday English Practice Podcast. It really helps us continue creating simple, honest English lessons for you. All right, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin.
So, Jack, let me ask you a very simple question. Do you like music?
Yes, I do. And did you notice something interesting about that answer? I answered naturally.
Exactly. You didn't stop to think about grammar rules. You didn't think, oh, this is the auxiliary verb, do. You just spoke.
And that's the goal. Because in real life, native speakers don't analyze grammar when they speak. They simply communicate. So today, we're going to explore 3 small but powerful words. Do, does, and did.
Let's start with the first one. Do. Do is simple. Do is friendly. And most of the time, do is used to ask questions about everyday life. Listen to this example. Do you work or study?
I work. Nice and natural. Here's another one. Do you live in the city? Yes, I do. Perfect. When we use do, we're usually talking about habits, routines, or things that are generally true. For example, do you wake up early?
No, I don't. Do you watch YouTube every day? Yes, I do. Now, here's something interesting. Many learners answer questions like this. Yes, I like, or no, I not. And we understand what they mean, but natural English sounds a little different. Instead, we say, yes, I do. No, I don't.
That tiny word do makes a big difference. Let's imagine a short story. There's a man named Alex. Alex works in an office. He starts work at 9 a.m. So we ask, does Alex work in an office?
Yes, he does. Does he start work at 10? No, he doesn't. Here's a very common learner mistake. Some people say, does he likes his job? But natural English sounds like this. Does he like his job? Why? Because the S is already inside the word does, so the verb stays simple.
Imagine you're meeting someone new. You want to be polite and friendly. You might ask, does your sister live nearby? That sounds natural and human, not robotic. Now, let's pause for a moment. Notice something important. We didn't memorize grammar rules. We practiced patterns, and patterns create confidence.
Let me ask you something, Emma. Do you remember your first English teacher?
Yes, I do. Were you shy back then?
Very shy. And when you think about that time now, did you feel confident?
No, I didn't. That word feels different, right?
Yes, because now we're talking about the past, and that's where our third word appears, did.
Many learners feel nervous about did, but the truth is it's actually very simple. Did just means something already happened. It's finished. Emma, let me ask you something. Did you eat breakfast today?
Yes, I did. Simple. No grammar thinking required, just feeling. When we use did, we're looking back in time. We're remembering something. For example, did you watch TV last night? No, I didn't. Did you sleep well? Yes, I did. Now here's another common learner mistake. Some people say, did you went there? But natural English sounds like this. Did you go there? Why? Because did already shows the past, so the verb stays simple.
Now imagine 2 friends meeting in the morning. One friend asks, did you finish your homework? The other friend laughs and says, no, I didn't. I watched movies instead. That's real English, natural, relaxed, and human. Now, let's slow down for a moment. Think about your childhood. Think about your school days. Now, listen to this question. Did you like your English class back then? That question carries emotion because maybe the answer isn't simple. Maybe you say, "No, I didn't," and that's okay. English becomes powerful when we are honest.
You can say, "I didn't understand English before." That sentence isn't weak, it's brave, because it shows your journey. Let's practice some short answers. I'll ask the question, you answer in your mind. Ready? Did you call your friend yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Did you feel nervous?
Yes, I did.
Did you give up?
No, I didn't. Now, think about yesterday. Just yesterday. Did you go outside? Did you learn something new? Did you try even a little? Those questions feel simple, but they are powerful because they help you reflect. And that's how language becomes part of your life.
And that brings us to an important realization. When we understand words like do, does, and did, we don't just learn grammar. We learn how to talk about life, today, yesterday, and our habits. And when that happens, English stops feeling like a school subject and starts feeling like communication. Now, something interesting happens when we truly begin to understand time in English. When learners finally start to understand the difference between do, does, and did, something inside their mind changes. Suddenly, English stops feeling like a list of rules and it starts feeling like communication. Earlier, we talked about these three words separately, but in real life, people don't think about them one by one. Instead, they use them naturally while talking, and this is where many learners experience a very common problem. When they listen to English, they understand almost everything, but when they try to speak, their mind suddenly freezes. They stop, they hesitate, and sometimes they stay completely silent. That moment can feel frustrating because you know the words, you studied the grammar, but your mouth still doesn't move. The truth is, this happens to almost every language learner. It doesn't mean you don't know English, it simply means your brain is still learning how to use English naturally. And the best way to solve that problem is practice with simple patterns. Let's try something together. I'll ask a very simple question. Do you drink coffee every morning? Maybe your answer is yes. Maybe it's no. But the important thing is the structure. Do you drink coffee every morning? Now, listen carefully to the next question. Did you drink coffee this morning? The topic is exactly the same. Coffee, morning, daily life, but the feeling of the sentence changes because the time changes. The first question talks about a habit. The second question talks about something that already happened. And this is one of the most important ideas in English conversation. When you speak English, your brain doesn't need to remember complicated grammar rules. It only needs to ask one small question. Is this about something that is generally true, or is it about something that already happened? If it's about general life or habits, we use do or does. If it's about something finished in the past, we use did. That's it. That small idea can make English feel much easier. Let's imagine a very normal situation. You wake up in the morning, you check your phone, you hurry to get ready for the day. Later, you meet a friend. Your friend asks you a simple question. Do you eat breakfast every day? You answer, yes, I do, usually. Then your friend asks something slightly different. Did you eat breakfast today? And you laugh a little and say, no, I didn't. I was too busy. Same person, same life, same breakfast, but the time changed. And because the time changed, the word changed. This is exactly how real English works. Now, let's listen to two sentences that sound very similar but carry very different emotions. I don't understand English. I didn't understand English before. When learners hear the first sentence, it sounds negative. It sounds discouraging. But the second sentence feels hopeful. Why? Because the word didn't shows progress. It tells us that something changed. Maybe English was difficult before, but now it's getting easier. And this is why the word did is actually very powerful. It allows us to talk about our journey. Let me ask you something personal. Do you feel confident speaking English now? Maybe your answer is something like this. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And that's completely normal. Confidence grows slowly. But if I ask you a different question, something interesting might happen. Did you feel confident speaking English 2 years ago? For many learners, the answer becomes very clear. No, I didn't. And that moment shows progress. You can see how far you've come. This is why understanding time in English is so important, because time helps us tell stories, and language becomes meaningful when it connects to real experiences. Now, there is another small detail that many learners find confusing. Sometimes people mix present time with past verbs. For example, some learners say, "Did you understand English now?" That sentence sounds strange to native speakers, not because the grammar is terrible, but because the time words don't match. The word now belongs to the present, so we say, "Do you understand English now?" But if we change the time word, everything becomes correct. Did you understand English then? You see, the time word acts like a guide. It shows your sentence which direction to go. Think of time words like road signs while driving. They guide your sentence so it doesn't crash. Let's play a small imagination game. I'll describe a situation. You answer in your mind. Imagine you're sitting in a quiet cafe. Someone asks you, "Do you like tea?" Now imagine yesterday at the same cafe. The question becomes, "Did you like the tea?" Now imagine someone talking about their friend. Does she study English every day? And now imagine last year. Did she study English last year? Same structure, different time. This pattern appears everywhere in English conversation. Let's talk about a fictional learner named Sarah. Sarah is learning English now. She studies every evening after work. Sometimes she feels confident. Sometimes she makes mistakes. So we ask a simple question. Does Sarah make mistakes when she speaks English? Yes, she does. That's normal. Now, think about Sarah 1 year ago. Did Sarah make mistakes back then? Yes, she did. But here is the most important question. Does Sarah give up? No, she doesn't. And that sentence changes everything, because learning English is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about continuing even when mistakes happen. Now, let's talk about questions. Questions are one of the most powerful tools in language. You don't always need to speak for a long time. Sometimes a simple question can start a meaningful conversation. For example, do you enjoy learning English? That question feels friendly. Or maybe you ask someone, did you enjoy your trip? That question shows interest. Good English communication is not about sounding impressive. It's about sounding human. Many learners think short answers are too simple, but short answers are actually very confident. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, she does. No, he doesn't. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Clear, direct, natural, and easy to understand. Have you ever noticed something funny about nervous learners? When they panic, they often answer every question with yes, even when the answer should be no. Someone asks, "Did you understand everything?" And the learner quickly says, "Yes," but inside they're thinking, Actually, not really. And that's okay. Confidence grows with time. Nobody becomes fluent overnight. Here's a small trick that many language coaches recommend. Before you answer a question, pause for 1 second. Ask yourself silently, is this question about something general or something in the past? If it's general, your answer will probably use do or does. If it's about the past, your answer will probably use did. This tiny pause can make your speaking much smoother. Let's listen to another natural conversation. Do you work here? Yes, I do. Did you work here last year? No, I didn't. Does your manager speak English? Yes, she does. Did she help you learn? Yes, she did. That conversation sounds simple, but it's exactly how real people talk. If you're listening right now and thinking, oh, this is finally starting to make sense, that feeling is important. Learning a language is not about rushing. It's about understanding small ideas one step at a time. English grows slowly, just like confidence. At the beginning, you might feel nervous speaking English, but little by little, something changes. Your sentences become calmer, your thoughts become clearer, and your speaking starts to flow more naturally. Earlier, we were explaining grammar, but now it feels more like a conversation, and that's actually the goal of language learning. When grammar disappears, communication appears. Many learners share a very honest feeling. They say, I understand English when I listen, but when I try to speak, my mind goes blank. That feeling doesn't mean you are bad at English. It simply means you are afraid of making mistakes, and fear is often a bigger obstacle than grammar. Let me ask you a question. Do you make mistakes when you speak English? Almost everyone says yes. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. Now, here's a more important question. Did you stop learning because of those mistakes? If your answer is no, then you're already doing something right. Mistakes are not the enemy. Silence is. When people speak their native language, they don't analyze every sentence. They don't think about grammar charts or verb tables. They simply express their thoughts. English should eventually feel the same. Do you like music? Does music help you relax? Did music ever help you during a difficult moment? You understood those questions immediately, not because you analyzed the grammar, but because the meaning was clear. Let's imagine another situation. A learner says,